Hi, welcome to my first video on GATE 2015. As you are aware, it's a GATE week for all computer IT students. My concern for this video is regarding your time management and some important topics. See, as you all are aware that there are total 65 questions. Now the main thing is how you well attempt all these questions. There is negative marking of 33%. So you need to take care what you are attempting and how much time you are giving to a particular question. Now as GATE is online, you need to take care of some few important points, like you need to save and continue. You need to look for useful data, because the useful data will be given in a link. If you are not aware, you need to check whether useful data is there. Don't assume anything. All the things which you know should be very proper, and then you should attempt that particular question. Save and continue. Remember that there will be two sections. First section is for your general aptitude and your second section will be a technical section. Okay, so don't be in a hurry to just go from one question to another. You need to save, otherwise your question will not be saved to server, and as a result you will see that your result is not there. Okay, moving ahead, out of the 65 questions, I can say 10 questions are for your general ability and 55 questions are for your technical portion. Trust me, these general aptitude questions are really very easy if you are good at technical. So I would say you focus more on technical, don't give more time on your general aptitude. Your general aptitude you should finish within 15 to max 20 minutes, not more than that. Now in this 55 questions, what you should do, what do you think will be a precise way? Now in this 55 questions, remember we are having 1 mark questions and 2 marks question. My experience says that if your 2 marks question are tough, 1 mark will be easy, and if your 1 mark are easy or if your 1 mark are difficult, then 2 marks will be easy. If you are starting with 1 mark, see, it's something like our KBC, Kaun Bane Crorepati. If you can answer a question, it is within 45 seconds or you cannot answer. So for 1 mark question, do remember that 45 seconds is your maximum time limit. If you can't, you can just skip that question and move to the next topic. Similarly for 2 marks, what you can do is maximum of 2 minutes. This is the maximum time. Now you will be guessing how is it possible, like 65 questions out of 65, this 2 marks questions are there. So yeah, we were at a 2 marks question of maximum 2 minutes. Okay, so there are 30 questions of 2 marks and 25 questions of 1 mark. At the first go, if I just calculate 25 to 45, it's almost approximately to 25 minutes, and for this I can say it is approximately to 60 minutes. So within this 1.5 hours, I will come to know how much am I able to attempt and how much I am leaving it, because see, all questions you cannot be knowing. The main thing is the fundamental, how clear you are. So your area of interest may be TOC, may be digital, but it doesn't mean that if you are good at TOC, that means you will be attempting it with 100% accuracy. It depends on what question you are having. So this 1.5 hours, you are just scanning through your paper and attempting those questions which you know is like 100% sure. Now it may happen that some questions you are almost, let's say, 50% sure. So in your second go, in your next remaining 1.5 hours, you will be giving time to those 50% questions where you are knowing that okay, this is some little bit of concept which I know very well, but something is missing. So like you're brainstorming and you may get the answer. There may be some questions which you are at a 0%. Just leave it, because it is GATE and it is something like 33% negative. So don't try to make yourself more enthusiastic in attempting the questions, because it may result in loss of mark. It is something like whatever you are doing in GATE, your result will be in a negative mark if you are not doing it properly. So ideally I can say that in your 1.5 hours, you are scanning your paper once, and in remaining 1.5 hours, you will be maybe doing it for twice, maybe second time and third time. And remember, you need to give 15-20 minutes to your general aptitude as well. So this is what I feel, according to me, that you should do time management And remember, if your 2 marks are easy, I am again saying attempt those first, then go to 1 mark, and if 1 mark are easy, then attempt those first and then go to 2 marks. Both of them cannot be easy and cannot be hard at the same time. And again, I am making a point, your useful data. See, don't assume anything. You are not supposed to assume anything. Everything will be very crystal clear in your paper. If you are 100% sure, then and then you attempt it. And remember to look at the useful data somewhere in your paper and mark the important words. Your words are very important, because see, if you are, let's say, a weak in English, then you should focus on those English words. Now moving ahead, for all the computer IT students watching my video, and definitely all my students who are watching this video, I can say that yes, for you it's a very second time that I am revising what all important points are there, but for those who are viewing it for the first time, you should know that there are many important points which you should cover within this 1 week. As far as digital logic, DLD, digital logic is concerned, I would say you should be very clear with your rules of complements. So those includes your radix complement, diminished radix complement, that is your ones complement, twos complement, how the multiplication is performed, what is left shift, right shift, and all those things in complements. You should be very clear with your K-maps. Now K-maps doesn't mean that you will be simply making the squares, but you may be asked what are the essential prime implicants and all those things. So your EPIs, don't make mistakes in finding out the EPIs and PIs. Then the combinational circuits. Okay, in combinational circuit, do give emphasis on your encoder, decoder, priority encoder, then multiplexer, demultiplexer, and how to implement those combinational circuit. Then comes the sequential circuit. In sequential circuit, I can say you may be asked to implement a flip-flop, let's say a D flip-flop using JK flip-flop, or JK flip-flop using T flip-flop and something. So you, for sequential circuit, you must be very clear with all the flip-flops, their characteristic equations, their excitation tables, and the diagram. I think diagram is not important, but you should be very well known, very much clear with what that particular gate is. Also, you be focused on your logic gates. So you don't make mistake in logic gates. I always ask my students that don't do HB. HB is nothing but hurry blunder, because sometimes you are in hurry and you know the concept and still you are not attempting correctly. So be aware of this hurry blunder. Make sure that you are reading each and everything very precisely. So from my point of view, these are the important points you should focus in this week. Moving ahead, one of the important topic, or one of my favorite subject if I say, is theory of computation, that is TOC. And in this TOC I will tell you it will be a weightage of 4 to 5 marks. And I may say that is this time IIT Kanpur may focus more on theory of computation. It will focus on all the subjects, but the questions of TOC will be little bit tricky. So make sure you are very good at your regular expressions and finding out the FAs. You know what is an accepting state, what is a rejecting state, what is an NFA, NFA with null, the interconversions, whether they are equivalent in power or not. All those things you need to be very clear. This will have almost 50% of weightage in GATE exam. Then comes your context-free grammar and PDA. You should be able to identify whether it is a deterministic PDA or a non-deterministic PDA right through the grammar. It should not be like you are making the PDA and then you are identifying, because see, if I am at your place, I will be attempting the same question within 2 minutes. So you need to just compare with me whether you will be doing it within 2 minutes or let's say within 1 minute. That's a challenge. Then comes Turing machine. Okay, in Turing machine I can say they are more focused on the recursive enumerable language, and all those concepts, and your PNP complete problem. So this portion again has 50% of weightage. Again, the most important point is properties. Properties of each and every grammar. You need to be very clear with your Chomsky hierarchy. Okay, type 3 grammar, type 2, type 1, type 0, and make sure type 3 is subset of type 2, subset of type 1, and subset of type 0. So type 0 is the most powerful. So you should be clear with that. You should be knowing all the properties well. For example, if L1 is context free and L2 is context free, then what will be, whether they are closed under intersection or not, whether they are closed under complementation or not. Such all properties should be very clear. Moving ahead, a companion for TOC I can consider is compiler design. Compiler design will have a weightage of 2 to 3 marks, and again what I feel is will have some tricky questions from memory management, or I can say not really memory management but runtime memory. Okay, so it will have questions from runtime memory, definitely some questions on LL, LR, or I can say SLR, CLR and LLR. You need to know for this first and follow. See, that is a very basic thing. If you are not knowing first and follow, definitely you can't answer this. So first and follow, you need to know it very well. And finally the optimization portion. And in this runtime environment or runtime memory, I can say the activation record is very important. How it is implemented, activation record, and the storage structure, the static structure, stack structure, or the heap structure. Again, this will have some tricky questions. Moving ahead to the next subject, that is database management system, DBMS. First and foremost, the most important thing is indexing. Okay, or I can say the file structure. You can expect definitely one question from this topic, which is very important. You need to identify whether it is a clustering index or non-clustering index, primary indexing, secondary indexing, and all those things. Moving ahead, you need to be very clear with your relational algebra and relational calculus, because this is where most of the students are confused whether it's an array or an RC, or how to relate an array RC with an SQL. Okay, so all these three you need to be very clear. Moving ahead is transaction management. Again, in transaction management, you should be very clear with all those ACID properties, not in terms of names, but how those are implemented, the Thomas Wright rule, and all those rules which are available in transaction management. And last but not the least, normalization. Again, a very important one, and you need to be very focused, because I may say that this is very important topic. You will be having one question from this, and say my students will know this in a very shortcut. I can guarantee that this question can be implemented or solved within 30 seconds. That is my challenge for my students, because they will be having a good competition for you all. Weightage, I can say it will be of again 4 to 5 marks. Ideally, see, all subjects will be having an equal weightage. Some of them will be having low weightage, whereas some will be having high weightage. Moving ahead to next topic, next subject, that is data structure and algorithm. So I say there are two things which is covered over here: data structure and algorithm. It will be of all minimum 7 to 8 marks. And make sure you are very good at C concepts. You know all the storage locations, how C is implemented, how pointers are used, and all those stuffs. Because C is very basic thing. I expect all engineers of GATE to know this. Moving ahead, you need to be clear with your linear data structures and non-linear data structures in terms of implementation. See, some structures are very easy. If I say that stack is easy, array is easy, but you need to know how it is implemented, what are its real life application, and if such questions are asked, how you solve them. Then in algorithm portions, you need to know the algorithm complexity. What is big O, big omega, little O, what is the relation among them, what is master theorem, how to implement those questions. And remember, see, GATE is never formula based, it is all about your fundamentals, how well you understand the question. Okay, so don't just mug up the things, it is how you understand the thing. So in your last 1 week, try to focus as much as possible on all these topics, and definitely it will help you a lot. And do go through this greedy and dynamic algos. Okay, there are hardly chance of this, because like I can say in 2011 and 12 there were one question on each. After that there were no questions, but it always keeps on varying. But I say C will have a maximum weightage as well as algorithm complexity. That complexity will not be a direct complexity. Just read the question, whether they are asking that insertion sort is using merge sort or merge sort is having insertion sort, something like that, then that complexity will not be a direct one. Moving ahead, the next subject is computer networks. Again, 5 to 6 marks of weightage, and I can say you will be expecting a 1 mark question from CN in your application layer, from your application layer. Okay, and make sure what question they are asking, whether they are asking to work on a transport layer or an application layer or a network layer or a session layer. See, words are very important. If you in a hurry, again I am saying don't make this hurry blunder. This will cost you a lot. So application layer, many basic questions can be asked, SMTP, regarding SMTP, FTP, HTTP and so on. Then comes the session layer and transport layer. Again at transport layer, the most important point what I feel is your AIMD protocol, or I can say AMD algorithm, additive increase, multiplicative decrease, which is again most, I can say, the favorite one for all the GATE papers, and network layer. In network layer you can expect questions from IP addressing. Now it can be a classless or it can be a class based addressing. Okay, both of them are equally important. And then comes the data link layer, where you can expect the questions from your protocols. Okay, the protocols, that is your stop and wait protocol, selective repeat protocols, and go back end protocol. In network layer also you can expect questions from your routing protocols. Major questions are from Dijkstra, then count to infinity problems, or maybe some link is down. What will happen if you are searching your nearest neighbor, link state packet protocol, and all those things. So again, this is the hierarchy. If I say that this is the weightage, I can say it is not that data link layer is having the least weightage, but I have observed that questions are more from application and transport layer rather than from data link and network layer. These are very basic questions. This will be some kind of numerical, but your fundamental question will be always from this. Moving ahead to next subject is again one of the very important subject, that is COA. Again it is having 7 to 8 marks of weightage, and remember, these questions are really easy. If you just go through the question, you will find the answer within the question. So the important topic from this is instruction pipelining. Okay, you need to be very clear with instruction pipelining. Don't do anything in hurry. Find out whether they are saying that register forwarding is done or not done, or operand forwarding is done, or whether you are asked to make it in an optimized way, to get an optimized solution. Is it asked or not? So instruction pipelining, you need to know how to calculate the speed up. There are various ways of calculating the speed up, throughput, MIPS. You need to know all those formulas. Okay, again, not direct formulas, but how those formulas are implemented. Then memory hierarchy. In memory hierarchy, you can expect a question, not a direct one, but a combination of an, I can say, operating system and memory hierarchy, with a cache as one of the important question. Okay, your cache will be asked. You will be asked to find out the tag bit, the size of the cache, the sets, or what is the associativity, and all those things. You may have a good question on secondary storage as well. Again, it will not be a direct one, but I can say that if you are very good at your aptitude, if you are good at logics, you can definitely solve this secondary storage question. Apart from that, there are a few topics like input, output, DMA. All those are again important, but as of now, I can say that these are the very important topics. And a compulsory question, I can say, from an IEEE standard, that is of representation of floating point. IEEE floating point representation. Make sure what they are asking, whether they are asking is a normalized number, a normalized of the form 1.f, one normalized of the form 2.f, 0.f, and as per that you need to solve. Again, I have found students making mistakes in this. Yeah, they are just in a hurry and they know, yes, I know this question, and as a result they end up with a wrong answer. Okay, so do focus on all these points. Moving ahead, a companion of COA, I can call it operating system. Again, a 5 to 6 marks weightage you can expect from this. Okay, and the most important is memory management. Okay, so memory management, that means you will be asked how multi-programming is done, what is paging, questions on paging, segmentation with paging, inverted page table, all those things can come in memory management. Not a direct question, but again a numerical type question can come in this. Then process scheduling. Okay, some questions are very easy. Sometimes questions are coming from process scheduling, what is fork, how fork is created, how many childs will be created, or I can say some numericals on process scheduling, that is your algorithms, that is LRU, FIFO, SJF, and round robin, priority scheduling, and so on. So you may be asked some comparisons between this. Moving ahead is your synchronization, process synchronization. Okay, process synchronization. So it includes, what it includes? Deadlocks. It will have the concepts of deadlocks, semaphores, mutex, critical section, and how to handle those critical section, what is mutual exclusion. All these things will be very clear. Again, you can't expect a direct question, but some combinations of all this within it, and I am expecting a combination of OS with COA. It will not be a direct question, remember. And apart from this, I feel like memory management, process synchronization, and indexing. Okay, again, file indexing over here is fine. If you are not good at it, it's okay. You will be able to score much within this section. Hardly there are chance of this question. Okay, moving ahead to next subject is, let's say I'm taking engineering maths as well as discrete maths. Okay, so in engineering maths you can expect questions on linear algebra, that is your matrices. Again, those questions are very easy. You should be very thorough with those shortcuts. What is trace of matrix, what is rank of matrix, what is nullity of matrix, all these things should be in your mind. You need to follow a method which is a Kohn method. See, this I always tell my students that this is where you need to be. Let's say today you are at this point, this is the 7th day, and this is the day before your gate. So at this thing, maybe all the topics are not on your fingertips, but on day before your gate, everything should be on your fingertip. You are not supposed to go there and just find out, okay, I will just derive it and then I will solve it. No, it is not possible. Remember, 2 minutes. 2 minutes, you can't derive and solve everything. So make sure you are having all things in your fingertip. So linear algebra, then you can have questions on PNC, that is permutations and combination. You can have questions on numerical methods. Again, these questions would be very direct. If you are remembering the basic formulas, I have not found that these questions are really tough. They are really easy. You need to be very precise what they are asking. From discrete maths, I can say group theory is important, predicate calculus is important, then algebra, Boolean algebra is important, and you need to know how those things are implemented. Okay, even all this means logical questions are expected from discrete maths and questions from graph theory. Okay, now graph theory can be asked in terms of discrete maths or in terms of network. You can't imagine, means it will be a combination of both. Again, this is having a fixed weightage of 13 marks. Okay, and I may say that you will be having almost 1 or 2 marks from each topics. You will be also having questions from limits, or I can say calculus. But in case if you feel that you are not good at calculus, it's fine. You can just skip, and if you are good, these things are very easy, and you can just go through this. Really, it will be helpful in scoring those questions. Moving ahead to the next topic, or not topic, but the subject, that is software engineering and web technology. So in software engineering and web technology, I can say there are many things to be asked, but some important things are like your COCOMO models. Then all the what we can say the planning models like your waterfall models and all those waterfall model, iterative model, prototype model. You need to know how those things are implemented, spiral model, and some formulas. If you just go through Roger Pressman, there are many formulas, but again this is having a very less weightage of 2 to 3 marks. So you can avoid this subject. Remember, this is only 1 week, so you can't target each and everything, but you can avoid this subject if you want. But in terms of WT, you will be asked some HTML syntax, some JavaScript questions, or maybe some XML questions. Okay, again, if you're not good at programming, you can simply leave this. Don't be ashamed. See, all of them cannot be good at each and every point. So this is having only a 2 to 3 marks weightage. Moving ahead, I think I have covered all the subjects. We have covered, let us just list down, we have covered DLD, we have covered DOC, compiler, CN, OS, DBMS, then COA, engineering maths and discrete maths, SEWT. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One subject is remaining, which is that DLD, TAW, compiler, CN, OS, DBMS, COA, EM, which data structure. Definitely we have covered data structure as well. So all those things are covered. Now let us see the last part, that is your general aptitude. There are total 10 questions. I can say there will be 4 to 5 marks of verbal and 10 to 11 marks of your numerical. Okay, again, trust me, these questions will be really easy, and if you are not good at verbal, don't try to act smart, just leave it, it's fine. If you are not attempting because you have already focused many things on technical portion, if you are scoring out of this 15, let's say round of around 7 to 8 marks, then also you are within, I can say, 4,000, 5,000 rank. And to what rank? See, this is a very basic question. How much should I attempt? What should I attempt? Again, I say it depends on what paper, what level of paper it is, and in which session you are. If the paper is tough, don't attempt too much. You need to be very precise with what you are attempting. It should not be that you have attempted for 70 marks and you end up at only 20 marks. Okay, so these things should not happen because it's having a negative marking. So the things which you are very clear, 100% clear, those questions should only be attempted. In case if you are having any query in any of the topics, feel free to contact me on my email ID, that is priyasacademy@gmail.com. Okay, and you can expect a question answer within 24 hours because it may happen that I may be busy with some of my lectures, but I personally always answer to all these questions. And hope this was an informative video for you, and daily we will be posting one video where you will be learning some questions, some topics, maybe something new, as I know that for all the students, for my students, definitely they know all these things, but those who are watching it online, you will be learning it for the first time. Again, all the best to all the GATE aspirants.